So let's bring our good friend Adriano in. He's had a busy week. He's just back from Zurich, I saw his tweet outside the FIFA offices. Good to have you back on. But before we go and talk about Italy, Adriano, welcome to the show. And we've been talking amongst ourselves how big Euro 2020 is going to be next year.
Yes, of course. We are very excited for Euro 2020. Obviously, the first European Championships that will be played across multiple cities and countries all around Europe. A really exciting opportunity for so many countries to play an international tournament in their own backyard. And obviously, the tournament will get underway right here in Italy, in Rome, with Italy and Turkey opening the tournament. And of course, Italy missing the 2018 World Cup. It's going to be a cracking start to what will be a wonderful European Championships.
Well, we've got the fixtures to have a look at, the groups, I should say, which are well worth going through. And I saw earlier on in the week, it might have been the back end of last week, you tweeting about the English group and their expectations, and that your expectations are that they don't have an easy run of it. So I know you've done your group studying and who they're going to draw and who will meet who, and it's going to be fascinating. Although I have to say, there's no real weak group. There's one particular group of death. But other than that, it's competitive.
The quality is there to be seen. Group A with Turkey, Italy, Wales and Switzerland. Turkey and Switzerland particularly very impressive in recent qualification campaigns, and they'll be very tough to beat. As for England, as you mentioned, that Group D with Croatia, Czech Republic and a playoff winner. Look, we are tipping that England will win that group. Obviously, their 3 matches will be played at Wembley. But beyond that, they are certain to be linked with that group of death, Group F, Portugal, France and Germany. Quite incredibly, that is the toughest group that has ever been assembled at any international tournament that I've ever seen. So with those 3 nations there, it is certain that England, should they win or finish second, will have to play one of Portugal, France or Germany in either the round of 16 or the quarterfinals of the competition. And most importantly, that match will not be
at Wembley. Exactly.
Not at Wembley.
Yeah, not at Wembley. But well, I suppose it's true of anything. And we talk about this in Champions League. We were just talking in the previous section with our La Liga lowdown, Ewan, and he was saying, well, Real Madrid are going to finish second in their group. That means they've got a tough match in the first knockout round of Champions League. But the truth of the matter is, I believe if you're good enough to win a Champions League, if you're good enough to win a Euro Championship, then you have to beat anybody who's put in front of you anyway.
That is correct, but obviously a bit of luck can play a part with so many quality teams in this tournament. And I think in the case of that Group F, with those 3 heavyweight nations in Europe all participating against one another, well, we may see one of them knocked out in the group stage. Do keep in mind that some third-place teams will progress, given the expanded format of the competition. But yes, Neil, you are right. You have to beat the best to win it all anyway. I just think in the case of England, they will want to back up their semi-final performance at the 2018 World Cup with another deep run here in the European Championships. I'm just not so sure whether that will be the case. And as per my tweet, it was with regards to them actually being the bookies' favourites to win the competition. I'm not sure if those bookies have actually checked out the draw because, again, France, Germany particularly, I will certainly be tipping them to defeat England away from England in that tournament.
Absolutely, and Portugal, of course, the defending champions. By the way, I made my statement of you have to beat the best of the best based, of course, on the World Cup rugby, where we know that the Springboks would have beaten the All Blacks even if we had to meet them at any stage in that knockout. And we did beat Italy anyway, so we did beat the best of the best.
That's right.
Exactly. Let's talk about Friday night. Great game, real cracker game. Inter have found their way to the top of Serie A, but they have to be kept honest because Roma tonight are okay. This man has done a great job.
Yes, very rare that there are matches on a Friday night, but tonight we will be treated to a wonderful match. It is a public holiday weekend here in Italy, and this match tonight, Inter and Roma, will very fortunately be on the pitch side for this one. I'm very, very excited to get to San Siro, but what a match this will be. You have 2 of the form sides in Italian football. Inter Milan with so much strength both defensively and going forward with Martinez and Lukaku continuing on, and against this Roma side now who are really finding their form under Fonseca. I did mention in recent weeks that Fonseca had admitted that he needs a bit more time just to get the best out of his side, who have been hampered by injury for so long this season. But both sides just peaking at the right time, making for a very tough match to predict this evening in Milan.
Yeah, and it's a big week, isn't it, for Inter, because Barca are on the horizon, and we're talking Champions League, of course.
Massive week. This is the week for Antonio Conte. Of course, last weekend they defeated Spal, obviously went ahead of Juventus for the first time in some time in the league. But that match next week, Barcelona, if they can win, they will progress. So this could become the week that defines Conte's first season at Inter Milan. I'm tipping they'll perform very well in both games, but I think in the case of Roma and Barcelona, certainly one at a time, because both very important for different reasons.
Now, there might be a couple of English fans watching this. They have to blink twice, because when they see Smalling and Lukaku, they're going to have flashbacks to what's going on from the old Manchester United days. But that'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Some saying it will be the matchup that will determine the result of this match. Smalling has been a revelation at Roma, as we know. To many, a surprising revelation. Has really come on and been one of the leaders and key figures for this Roma resurgence this season. Of course, a Roma side that are desperate to get back into the Champions League, but coming up against his former teammate Romelu Lukaku, I'm certain both will know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So that will be a fascinating battle that will go a long way, as I said, determining the overall result. Can Smalling stop Lukaku? Lukaku, particularly at home, he's been prolific in the league. He's been very strong. But again, it's the partnership that he's formed with Lautaro Martinez, which I feel will be a little too much for Roma to handle. So while I did say it's a tough match to predict, I will predict Inter to get the result here, just given the home ground advantage. But certainly plenty of attacking talent on show, no doubt.
Yeah, so Roma will probably fancy their chances in terms of the fact that they're away from home, their expectations are probably low, and they can have a go with a degree of freedom. What about the Lazio-Juventus game? Because that, to me, is probably a standout match. You don't want to miss that. Juventus, not everything is 100% there. There's just a few rumblings. We've touched on it a couple of times. So Lazio might just fancy their chances of, at the very least, getting a draw.
This is certainly a massive weekend in Serie A. Lazio-Juve, arguably better than the Inter-Roma clash. Lazio, the form side in all of Italy, 6 straight wins in the league, playing exceptionally well. Ciro Immobile, 17 goals already. It's quite incredible what he's done this season. Simone Inzaghi as well, a key figure as to why. But you are right, Neil. Juventus's form, they've been getting the results, but last week's tour with Sassuolo has been coming, and it has been coming for some time. I've been very fortunate to watch Juve live in 4 or 5 of their recent fixtures, and you just get a sense that they are playing with a sense of confidence, but they are susceptible to conceding, and we saw that in the 2 goals they conceded last weekend. I think an issue was highlighted by the current injured captain, Giorgio Chiellini, who came out midweek and said, Juventus, for as long as I've been here, have been very proud to get a 1-0 result, but now we go on to score 2, 3, 4 goals, which has allowed us to concede more than we're used to. And I think that Immobile and Lazio, I think they pose a serious threat this weekend, because Juventus have not been at their best defensively this season. And I think we could see Juve potentially drop another point or 2 this weekend. Yeah,
I'm in your camp with that. I think that might definitely be an eventuality. Well, you know what we've missed, Adriano, this season? We've missed the telenovela dramas of Icardi, haven't we? But we had a replacement this week, because the drama with Ronaldo, instead of attending Ballon d'Or, and then Instagram stories with sisters and an outburst against Virgil. I mean, this is what we've been missing with Icardi having gone to play his football somewhere else. We've missed the wife stories, but we had plenty of off-the-field social media drama this week.
It has been incredible. Maybe that's why Ronaldo joined the Italian top flight. But yes, of course, Ronaldo missing out on that Ballon d'Or. Hardly surprising. I was very surprised he finished in the top 3 ahead of Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, and a few of the Liverpool players. But yeah, in the end, obviously, Ronaldo and Messi, they have a heated rivalry. We know, certainly know Ronaldo would not have been thrilled that Messi went on to win. But yes, you're right, the social media posts that eventuated followed the decision, quite bizarre. And I think it's a difficult moment for Ronaldo. I said last week that I feel he needs a goal more than he's ever needed a goal in his career. And he did score a penalty in the 2-2 with Sassuolo last weekend, but that did very little to ease the pressure that he's under. And obviously not turning up midweek to Paris for the Ballon d'Or He was at the Serie A MVP Awards instead, which he did win off the back of his performances last season. But it's a very strange time and a bit of a crossroads for Ronaldo here in Italy in his time with Juventus. His agent has come out and said that he will be at Juventus next season, so quashing any reports that an imminent move may be on the cards. But again, he needs a goal, he needs a strong performance, and it could be at the Olimpico against Lazio this weekend. I'm sure all Juve fans are hoping that's the case.
Digging just a little bit deeper, the relationship with the manager, everything hunky-dory there or problems?
Plenty of reports that, well, both ways. Things are okay, things are not so okay. We obviously have seen a few outbursts on the pitch when Ronaldo has been taken off or withdrawn a little earlier than he is used to. Well, normally he's never substituted. So there have been a few issues, but all reports are saying in Torino that everything is fine. I think we need to see the football do the talking. Ronaldo needs to start scoring. Sarri has Juve playing decent football, but Ronaldo, obviously, given the money invested, key piece to any success Juve have both domestically and in Europe this season.
Okay. Well, we've run out of time. We were going to speak about Napoli, but maybe it's a good thing because I'm not so sure we've got too many positive things to say about Ancelotti and Napoli. There's another season-defining match coming up on the weekend. But we want to thank you for your input, particularly your take on Euro 2020. Adriano, thanks very much. Keep those tweets coming through. We love watching you in South Africa. Keep up the good work and enjoy the match pitch side coming up.
Thank you for having me, as always.
There we go. Adriano, always a great pleasure to be talking to him. He gives us a viewpoint of exactly what's going on.